Hey, BC here for BC Nephro. Today I'm going to tell you 3 things I learned about intermittent fasting. The third thing is really cool, so you're going to want to wait to the end of this video to hear that one. So the first thing is that intermittent fasting is not hard. If you think it's hard, that's okay. I thought it was hard, and I thought it was impossible. I thought I would never be able to do it. When you get to this end of the video, you'll find out that actually it's not really that hard. What I used to do, I would eat breakfast and then I would have my lunch ready, and in the mid-morning I would decide that I would probably get hungry before lunch, and I wanted to avoid that. So I'd be driving down past Dunkin' Donuts, and before, I wasn't even hungry, but I'm like, well, I'm not going to be able to eat lunch until, like, let's say noon, and I'll probably get hungry around 10:30, 11, and so this is like 9:30 now, so I better stop by and get a donut to stave off that hunger. And yeah, so that's how I was. So then I made a decision, you know what, I'm just gonna not do that. I'm just gonna skip the donut and wait till lunch. So what I found out, what happened was I would get hungry around 11 o'clock, and then I would continue working, and guess what? The hunger went away, and then I ate lunch. So that's the second thing, is the body adapts. So the body realizes after a few minutes, maybe it's definitely less than a half hour, the body realizes, the brain realizes, hey, you're not eating now, so it's no use being hungry. So the hunger pain passes. So maybe I would continue to work to distract myself. Maybe I would drink a cup of coffee, a cup of water, and then within 30 minutes it was gone. So now I would go to 12 o'clock. And then a part of this thing, the body adapting, is you can push it a little bit further. So a part of the second thing is I was able to push it a little bit further. So I'm like, you know what? I can go to 12 noon without lunch, without a snack in between, no problem. What about 12:30? So yeah, so I'll wait till 12:30. So then I found that I could do that. If I had a hunger pain, it would pass, no worries. Then I pushed that to 1, so I decided, okay, I'm eating lunch at 1. Body adapted, no problem. So then what I would do is I would eat breakfast, and my breakfast was maybe like a banana and a protein bar. I would eat my lunch at 1, and then I would eat dinner maybe like 7:30, and that was it. And then I was out to dinner with a mentor, a friend of mine, and he was talking about an article in the New England Journal of Medicine. I'll find that article and link it in the description below. It talked about the benefits of intermittent fasting. And it talked about 2 ways of intermittent fasting. Now, the benefits made sense to me because the way we evolved with hunting and gathering is humans didn't eat 3 meals a day. They didn't have constant access to food. They would go out, hunt, catch something, have a feast, and then they might not eat for a while. So this is the way the body was adapted to be, so it made sense to do that. So he told me that the deal is that you eat within a 6-hour window, and then for 18 hours you don't eat. So I was like, there's no way, impossible. I can't do that. That would be too hard for me. And then a little bit later I was thinking, by that time I gotten rid of the power bar. I was just eating a banana for breakfast, but I still thought it was impossible. So then I realized the only thing between me, I eat lunch at 1, I eat dinner at 7:30. The only thing between me and intermittent fasting is a banana. So if I can stop eating a banana and not snack after dinner, I'm already doing it. And I thought it was hard. I was actually already like 95% there, but I thought there's no way I could do it. So it's not that hard. So I did that. So I stopped eating the banana. I would drink coffee, and I would wait until 1 o'clock, eat my lunch, 7 o'clock, eat my dinner, not snack, and I'm intermittent fasting. The next thing I learned about that is that I was drinking my coffee, but I was putting a little bit of milk, sugar in my coffee. So I was telling the story about my intermittent fasting, and this other guy was like, that's so amazing, you have so much willpower, it's you could do that. And I don't, actually, so it's not that hard, as I told you. But then I felt like a fraud. I'm like, I'm bragging out, look at me, I'm intermittent fasting, and I'm putting sugar and milk in my coffee. I'm like a fraud. So this is another thing I thought I never could do. I never could drink black coffee. I definitely need sugar and milk in it. So So what I decided to do is I came up with a plan, is I got that Coffee Mate stuff. It was like 10 calories in a teaspoon. I started putting a teaspoon in my coffee instead of the milk and sugar. But that was a transition step. By the time that tub was gone, I went to black coffee. Body adapted, no problem, don't miss it. I will give myself a treat every once in a while on a weekend, or having dessert at a restaurant after dinner. I'll put some sugar in my coffee, but for the most part, it's black coffee. I will tell you some things that do make intermittent fasting more difficult for me. One is not getting enough sleep. So if I don't sleep well, I feel like I have a hunger carb craving. And I relate that to being in a cortisol state. So not getting enough sleep, more cortisol, inflammatory state, craving for sugar, craving for carbs. So if you put yourself in a situation where you're not getting enough sleep, it will be more challenging. Understand that. Put yourself in a situation where you get enough sleep. The second thing is drinking alcohol. So I found if I drank alcohol the night before, even just a moderate amount, not an excessive amount, the next morning I would have an increased appetite, increased carb craving, made it more difficult. And it makes sense to me is that the response to the alcohol is some sort of reactive hypoglycemia, and the body's responding to that. So understand those two things. They do make it a little bit more challenging. Don't put yourself in that position, or don't, if you're in that position, every once in a while, understand, cut yourself some slack. Now, the third thing, which is really cool to me, is now that I'm able to do intermittent fasting, I can look back and remember the time where I thought this was impossible, that there was no way I could intermittent fast. I can remember feeling that way and believing that, and it is something I achieved. So whenever there's something going on in life where I think is impossible, there's no way that'll ever happen, there's no way I can ever achieve it, I can think back to this, and I can think, I've already achieved something that I thought was impossible. So this other thing that I want to achieve is possible. It gives me the confidence, and that's the third thing that's I think is super cool. The fourth bonus thing is getting to a point where it doesn't have to be a rigid willpower thing. I'm at the point where I can cut myself some slack every once in a while. So, for example, I like to go out to breakfast with the buddies maybe once a month, once every couple weeks. I'll go out to breakfast. That day, it won't be the full 16-hour fast, but that day maybe I won't eat lunch, and I'll go from breakfast to dinner, no problem. And every once in a while, I like to give myself a treat. I'm on vacation now, give myself a treat with a boardwalk donut. Cool. It doesn't have to be a rigid routine. So that's my experience with intermittent fasting. If you have any, let me know your experiences, your thoughts with intermittent fasting in the comments below. And if you made it to this end of this video, super cool. Hit the like button, subscribe, tell your friends, and until next time, thanks for watching BC Nephro.